It's a virtually impossible market to break into.
Impossible,
yeah, virtually impossible. And to answer your question, how was it starting? It was brutal.
Yeah,
it was
brutal.
truly brutal. So I remember just like teaching myself all the streets. I would like ride my bike and like memorize every house, and I studied the architecture and I studied the homes. And it took years and years and years and years and lots of sacrifice and frankly failing a lot. But when you really get to learn the Palm Beach market, you understand that scarcity is a real thing. We're on the global stage. I don't know if we're quite as global as Miami. People all over the world have heard of Palm Beach. We have about 1.5 billion of listings. Because if I take on a property, I'm gonna make sure everyone knows about it. And so we were investing, spending $10,000 a video. But it turns out people like real estate content. Palm Beach is the best place on earth.
We are here on The Long Game with Margit Brandt, one of the top real estate agents in all of America. She is one of the #1 agents in Palm Beach, and we're here at her $175 million estate listing. Margit, great to have you. What brought you to Palm Beach? I know you're from New York. You grew up in Westchester and in the city. What brought you down here?
Thanks for having me, Jay. And what a beautiful environment to do this in. So we've been in Palm Beach for over 10 years. I'm originally from New York. I came to Palm Beach. I married someone from Palm Beach, so he grew up here. This was his hometown, and so eventually I think he was the impetus that he wanted to move home. It was also around the time that we were having children, so that was part of the impetus. I personally did not want to raise children in New York City. It was a personal choice for me. I didn't want to do that. I have been working in real estate for 16 years, so it was kind of a big move that I'd have to move down to Palm Beach and start over. But I did, and it was the best decision I ever made. And if I could go back, the only thing I would have done is probably come sooner than that.
There's a lot of people, because I was in New York before COVID, and then during COVID, I made the move. It just made sense. Everything was closed down, and Florida was open. And there's a lot of people who have careers, they work for companies in a place like New York or San Francisco. And so making that decision is a big decision, but you came down and you broke into a market like Palm Beach. How was it getting into this market, and what was the early days like when you got to Palm Beach and you started doing deals down here?
Well, I moved to Palm Beach in my 20s, first of all, so that was kind of unheard of at the time, to be like, I'm moving to Palm Beach in my 20s. So it was a long time ago. And then in terms of breaking into the market, I mean, I don't want to like understate it. It's a virtually impossible market to break into.
Impossible,
yeah, virtually impossible. The reason I say that is that it's incredibly insular. It's a small town with really big people. And if you don't have the connections and know the right people, combined with the work ethic, and that's what I think people don't understand. Early days in New York, what probably helped me is when I first started in real estate, I obviously wasn't doing the price points I'm doing now.
Right.
It was much lower price points. It was like higher deal volume. But it was kind of a boot camp. When I look back at it now, and look back at like what I was doing when I was 23, 24, 25, it was the same skill set, but it was just on much smaller scale deals. So by the time I got here and I got settled, and to answer your question, how was it starting? It was brutal. It was truly brutal. Super competitive here.
Were you in the suburbs or were you in the city? Where was your beginning marketplace?
Yeah, well, it was New York City.
Okay.
We were in New York City.
Okay.
But you know how they say if you can do it in New York, like, so I had that skill set coming from New York City, but I had to apply it to a very small island. So I remember just like teaching myself all the streets. I would like ride my bike and like memorize every house, and I studied the architecture and I studied the homes. And it took years and years and years and years and lots of sacrifice and frankly failing a lot. I think successful people like get very comfortable with failure. And I always tell my kids, like, you never lose, you learn, right? If you lose, learn from it. Like, it's not a loss. It's just you learn from it and you don't make the same mistake twice. So frankly, like a lot of, losing things, but I hung in there and I stuck with it. And by the time COVID came around, I had the skill set combined with the, I'd really ingratiated myself in the community. Palm Beach is not a big city. It's not a place you can just like come in and move and now all of a sudden you're an agent. It's too hard to do that. We're not Miami. We're not like any big city. I think you might have better luck with that in a big city. But here it's only 2,500 single family homes. It's very small and insular. So I think it's much harder here to do.
That's a great point and illustration of staying with it. So you had a 6-year training period. Okay, people want to be super successful in 2 years these days.
Yeah.
They want overnight success. They think they put their head down, they put up some videos on Instagram, they knock on some doors, and they're going to be closing, you know, $20 million, $100 million deals, and it's just not like that. So you spent 6 years really training, learning the business.
Yeah.
And then when you got to Palm Beach, you worked even harder.
Yeah.
And so it was challenging. And now today you're at the top of the game. Let's talk about some of the deals that you've worked on. You've worked on some of the very best, biggest homes here in Palm Beach. You sold 10 Tarpon Island. Let's talk about that deal. How did you get the listing? How did you win that deal? And then what was the sale process like?
Yeah, well, 10, I'll say what I can on this one. 10 Tarpon Island's right behind your head. So it's right behind where we're sitting right now.
Here.
It's right behind you. And what's really special about 10 Tarpon is that it's its own private island. And like, how many private islands are there in South Florida, right? So it had 1,300 square feet of linear frontage. And to me, what that means is it's water views from every single room. There's nothing else like it. It's a one-of-one property. So, and we brought the buyer to that. So I wasn't on the list side, I brought the buyer.
Okay.
But how that process worked, I mean, and this happens with a lot of our clients. You look at Palm Beach at a high level, people want new construction, they want big lots. Look at the property we're sitting on now. This is an acre and a half. But when you really get to learn the Palm Beach market, you understand that scarcity is a real thing. So it's not the kind of place you come in, you're like, I want new construction, I want 11 bedrooms, I want 2 acres, and I want it in town, and that there's like 10 options to look at. It's just not that kind of place. So ultimately what happens is it's a learning process for many of the buyers. We're talking about a lot of money, we're talking about real money, and they have to learn, you know, do I want to be in the North End? Do I want to be in town? Do I want to look in the estate section? Often town is priority, but still I think people have to be flexible given that it's such a small place. And then the biggest hurdle is, do you want to build? And of course you can build, and if it's a very special view and vantage point, of course you can. But time is money, and I've heard that because we work for some of the most successful people in the world, and I've heard that time and time again, time is money.
What's the buyer profile? Let's talk about it. Are these Americans, international, Latin American, New Yorkers, LA, all over the world?
Yep. So Palm Beach has historically pulled the most from New York City, which is where I'm from originally. And New York City and the tri-state area. So whether that's like, you know, Long Island, Westchester, New Jersey, I guess, in some capacity. So historically, that's where Palm Beach pulled the most from. However, it's changed dramatically in the last 5 or 6 years. California is one of our largest, you know, I mean, we should be sending thank you cards to Gavin Newsom for everything he's done for us here, because we all kind of thought Mamdani was going to be like the big differentiator, and he still may be in time.
It's coming.
And there sure has been, people haven't quite experienced what it's like living with Mamdani running your city yet, so there still may be time. But California, wealthy people have learned what it's like to live with Gavin Newsom running your state. So we've seen more than ever coming from California. And then, not to mention, I mean, we do have international. We have people coming in from London, from Europe, Australia. I mean, we have plenty of Australians here. I don't know if it's because the weather is warm and we're at the beach and it's a lot of, you know, 75 and sunny. So we do pull a lot of Aussies. I think we're popular there. But we're on the global stage. I don't know if we're quite as global as Miami, but like people all over the world have heard of Palm Beach. The cat's out of the bag and they want to be here.
Yeah, especially, and we're at this property here, 800 South County Road, and we have Mar-a-Lago right down the street. We have West Palm Beach just over the bridge here behind us. So people from all over the world are hearing about Palm Beach. From your early days in your career to now, and the types of buyers that you're talking about, the wealthiest people, most successful people on the planet, what kind of demand do they have? Or what kind of criteria, buying criteria, what are they interested in? What's important to them? Water, does price matter? Does move-in ability, time, how quickly they can get into a property? How are they to work with?
Yeah, we are fortunate enough to work with some of the biggest, you know, most successful people in the world, whether it's CEOs of their own company, principals of financial firms. And I'm grateful because I feel like I get to learn a lot from our clients. I know that sounds kind of funny, but I love to be with people that are more successful than we are because it's an opportunity to learn. And what do they like to work with? Time is money. I mean, like that's why prime water real estate in Palm Beach that is renovated commands premiums.
Yeah.
And the reason is because, you know, of course money matters and budget matters, but time is our biggest asset, right? And if you have to come in, build, RCOM could take up to a year, if not more. Then you get into a 2-year build, right, if everything goes perfect, and then it's design. You could be looking at 4 years or more until you sleep in that property. And what is 4 years of your time worth? And for a lot of these guys, that could be billions of dollars.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
What's that brain damage worth? Like, you know, having to navigate this house and think and design and do all this stuff. So for us, what we've seen is that turnkey product on the water is the hottest asset in Palm Beach.
Let's go back to 10 Tarpon Island.
Sure.
And you brought the buyer.
Yes.
How many properties did you show them? What was the process like when you took them to the property? They toured it, maybe they fell in love with it. How quickly did they close? What was the inspection period, and what was the negotiation like? And this is
I can't say too much on it, but I can say any buyer in Palm Beach, I mean, we saw dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of properties.
I'm sure
so
it was
this
a
wasn't
cash
like
close. Yeah.
I can't talk details like that, but I can say we saw tons of properties over several months, and I think it's a learning process of learning what is new, what's of this acreage, right? This 2.26 acres is what that was, so that's kind of unheard of in town. And what I can say is that 10 Tarpon was at the end.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, we saw everything else. We saw everything else. And there was a little bit of pushback. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And then I said, what's the harm? Why don't we just see it? The worst thing that happens is you don't like it, and then we'll just leave. And then we're back where we started. So it's nothing lost.
Yeah.
And so begrudgingly, okay. And we went. And then that ended up being the property. So it just shows you got to think outside the box. You can't, you know, always, sometimes people don't know exactly what they're looking for. And there's nothing lost in walking in, seeing a view, and at least you understand what it is, right?
Yeah.
And I always tell my clients, any client, if you don't like it, we'll leave. We just walk right out, get back in the car, and we'll go get a nice coffee. No big deal.
Yeah.
And that's actually how it went.
Did that deal take you to another level? And we were talking a little bit about this before we started filming. What was the climb like to get to where you're at today, from when you first started in Palm Beach? What size deals were you doing?
Yeah.
Were you saying yes to everything? Were you like, I'll list this, you know, taking buyers off market? And then today, what's your process like? And I'm sure you're getting lots of calls from all the top people.
Yeah, I think when we first started, I mean, I think some of our first deals were, well, there was one that was a spec house on the Breakers Golf Course. So it was 259 Pendleton. We sold that twice early on, and that was kind of during COVID. It was coming up. It was not done. We went into it, same kind of thing. Just see it. Worst thing, you don't like it. And they liked it, loved it, flipped it, right? So that was one of the first ones that happened, and we sold it twice in like 6 months. And also,
what were the prices?
I want to say 17 to 22. Bought it for 17, flipped for 22 a few months later. It was kind of a crazy time where people were bidding and going up. It was like things were going up by $5 million a minute.
Yeah,
you know,
like,
so,
like nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were like, "Get me out of New York."
But it was the perfect storm for us because we were just sitting there.
Yeah.
And we were able to like take those leads, and everyone was overwhelmed. So we were there with the skill set and able to like start getting deals done. Yeah, and then, I mean, 10 Tarpon Island was a big deal for us, but it's not the only waterfront deal we've done. I think we've done 30%, like we have 30% market share of Palm Beach waterfront right now. So we have about 1.5 billion of listings, and we've sold a lot of the marquee properties on the water. You know, we've sold 10B of Vizcaya, which is right down the way from here. We've sold several on Everglades Island, 584 Island, 631 Island. We just did buyer and seller facing west on Everglades Island. We sold 1460 North Lake Way for 75. That's on the far north end. This isn't like a one-off. Like, we're consistently participating in most of the waterfront sales in Palm Beach. And we cover a lot of the listings for the water in Palm Beach.
Hey guys, my firm Prosper Group is a Miami-based real estate development firm focused on ultra-luxury waterfront and prime properties here in South Florida. We source off-market real estate, and we handle everything from acquisition, design, through construction and sales. If you are an accredited investor and you want to learn more about how we work and how to invest with us, go to prospergroup.com/invest and book a discovery call. So we met and we found you on Instagram.
Oh, good, nice.
How has marketing played a role in your success? in winning deals, getting listings, getting buyers. How has marketing evolved over the years? We were just talking about this on the drive up here. You know, email marketing, word of mouth, and how does Margit market in your team?
Yeah, I mean, this, humbly, I'll say we've been called the best marketers in Palm Beach. Because if I take on a property, I'm going to make sure everyone knows about it. I'm going to make sure it looks perfect. I have a team. We come in and make sure that the flowers are right, the lighting is right, that it's staged. The property we're in now, we staged ourselves. So like, I am not winging it and bringing you into a property that doesn't look its best. So that applies to photos, videos, right? We were one of the first people in Palm Beach to do videos. When I first got here, it was very sleepy and no one did a single video. And so we were investing, spending $10,000 a video, like we were just kind of going on a whim. But it turns out people like real estate content. And they love to look at beautiful properties by video. And the days of just throwing up a photo on MLS, or God forbid no photo on MLS, which is how some people do it here, doesn't work. You have to really make it interesting. And the truth is, to sell these properties is much harder than it looks. I think there's this narrative like, oh, it just happens and how it looks on Instagram. I will tell you, the girls that work for me will tell you, it's so much work. And those people have to see that property. It might be 20, 30, 40 times until their brother or their broker or someone sends it to them and then they come in and buy it. But we have a major advertising funnel and we've taken our marketing to the next level. We do everything. It's Instagram, it's email, it's print. It's direct mail. I mean, everything. We're in a podcast now. It's our first time, but
we're honored to have you.
We're on a podcast. Yeah, we're trying different things because I think you have to think outside the box, and you can't be complacent that you just do one ad and that it sells the house. It's much harder than that.
Yeah, it has to be. And I'm a real estate developer.
Love it.
And I've invested in marketing. So hearing you talk about how powerful marketing is, in all businesses around the world, no matter what you do, you could be a hedge fund investor. People need to know you. If you're raising capital, people need to know you. You have to be investing in marketing. You have to be, people are on their phones, they're watching videos today. There was an old way of doing things. And people were comfortable doing that, and they want to stay that way. But you came in and you said, all right, we're going to really focus on this. We're going to do it differently. And sell and be the best.
And I think you have to, we package these properties up in a bow. And I think the way things were done I'm not shaking everything up, but I'm also a lot younger than a few of the other top people here. You have to kind of think creatively on marketing and make it interesting, and it's worked for us, and we're going to continue to do that.
What does your day look like, your weeks look like? You have a family. You have 2 kids, married. How is it managing all of that, a family, kids, schools, sports, and also being a top realtor in the country, top 100 by The Real Deal?
It's a good question. My kids are my most important thing in life, and I feel really fortunate that I'm able to do something, that I'm able to be successful, and I think a good example, especially for my daughter, I mean son and daughter, I have a boy and a girl, but to see their mom that works as hard as I do, but I'm also able to make every tennis practice. I make football. It's a small island. If I have to stop in at tennis at the Breakers and I'm cheering on from the sidelines and I have like my headphones in to take a call, I'll do that. But I don't miss stuff. This isn't the day of like, you know, you ride into New York City and you're on a train and you leave your kids from 7 in the morning till 9 or 10 at night. I mean, it's not necessarily like I make my schedule, but I'm around. I'm around for them and I'm present. And I also find it funny, people that don't have kids, how much time they really have. You don't realize how much time you have. If you don't have children and you're like, I'm so busy, you don't get it.
We have a 1-year-old, and I talked to my wife about this, like, kids, they really, it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job. It's the biggest joy in my whole life. I have an amazing husband, Blair. He's like still to this day the nicest person I've ever met in my entire life. So I feel so fortunate to have the kids and husband, and they support me. They support me, and they're my biggest cheerleaders, you know?
There's a lot of talk about schools and how South Florida, Miami, we have a shortage of schools, Palm Beach. How are the schools here? Are they building more? What's coming?
So, in terms of schools, I think what sets Palm Beach apart is that we understand that schools are a big part of this mass exodus here. So people that are leaving New York City and that are leaving California, they're not going to move here. You're a parent. Would you move somewhere that there's not a school for your son?
Not.
Absolutely not. So we have incredible schools here, number one. But number two, We have real leaders in our community that understand the need for schools. Steve Ross is building an incredible school called the Wingrove Academy that's in Wellington, and that's going to be like a pre-K through high school that they're starting plans for now. It's the same people that did Avenues in New York. I don't know if you're familiar with Avenues, but they've also done tons of international schools that have been tremendously successful. So we are building schools for that need, and we have the space to do it. So they're doing it in Wellington, they're doing it in downtown West Palm. And then this whole area here, I mean, there's been incredible growth. So I think that you're going to see that we're able to fill those needs with schools over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years to accommodate this new growth. And office space is the other thing. We're also building office space.
Yes, Wells Fargo Private Wealth Management announced that they're coming over. Steve Ross is doing an amazing job.
Yes. Steve Ross has been absolutely incredible because the city that's right behind our head, downtown West Palm Beach, the high-end luxury market here is absolutely in line with downtown West Palm, and I'll tell you why. All of these, anyone who buys any of these large homes, right, that are Palm Beach waterfront, anything here in the stretch, generally they're a principal of a big financial firm, they're a principal of they're a CEO of a company, and they want the ability to be productive while they're here. So a lot of the time they're taking out office space. It depends on the company, how many of their people they're able to get down here or over here. But it turns out that Palm Beach is an easy sell for these people. I mean, I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we're gonna see more and more principals that are moving firms here.
We were just talking about this, that we're thankful and we're seeing the leaders of other states are really helping us. You know, Mamdani is in, he has raising the taxes, he's raising income taxes, estate taxes, possibly property taxes. And we're getting buyers from California now. You're getting buyers from California. How much of them are driven by these tax policies or lifestyle, or a little bit of both?
The tax policies are an absolute deal breaker for people. They want to tax you on unrealized gains. So it's money you don't have yet. It's also money that could change in value. I don't know any business person that would agree to that and say, I'm good with that. It's the most unreasonable suggestion I've seen. So California, I think the tax policies are the nail in the coffin for California. Because think about California. I mean, you were raised in Southern California. The weather, the lifestyle, it's pretty pleasant in both places, if you were to put it that way. So just safety and taxes is enough of a differentiator that people are ready to leave the state of California.
Let's talk about the lifestyle here. Everything is nice, it's well manicured. What's the lifestyle like for those of people from around the world, from New York, haven't made the move, California, other places? What is it like when you get to Palm Beach?
Palm Beach is the best place on earth. You're talking to someone who's extremely biased.
You heard it here.
Let me tell you why it's the best place on earth. It's the best place to raise a family. It's so safe, it's so clean. We have incredible schools. And what makes Palm Beach is the people. We have incredibly high quality people. And I'm fortunate enough to work with a lot of these, you can learn from the people that have landed in Palm Beach. If you look, and it's not anything new that major wealthy families have opted to be in Palm Beach, but there's this whole new wave of entrepreneurs, tech, finance, right? Private equity that are all choosing Palm Beach, that could live anywhere in the world, and they're all choosing Palm Beach, and there's a reason. What's the lifestyle like? So across the water here, in West Palm, there's 2 amazing schools. You basically have a waterfront drive over to school. God forbid in a convertible or a nice car, right? If you have kids, that's your ride to school. We have incredible, facilities for tennis, for golf. You're outside, 12 months of the year you can be outside. Maybe it's a little warm in the summer, but I would take the warmth of July here any day over January in New York City. 100%. So truly, it's fine here 12 months a year, just with a little warm and rain in the summertime. It's a very healthy lifestyle here. You see everyone working out. We have every exercise class here. Incredible infrastructure to have chefs and help, good nannies. So it's just kind of the best of both worlds. Incredible weather and taxes and a business-friendly environment. So there's a reason why Palm Beach has been so successful.
So let's talk about this beautiful estate.
Yes. So we're at 800 South County Road. We're in the estate section. It's a historic Addison Meisner home that's been completely renovated. It's the only property in Palm Beach at this level that's actually renovated, turnkey, and that you can move into right away. The other 2 competitors at this price point, one is at least a 2-year renovation where you have to roll your sleeves up, hire a contractor, and the other is truly a tear down where you're looking at, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, maybe 4 to 5 years until you really move into it. This is immaculately renovated. You have this infinity pool overlooking the city. The views here are looking at downtown West Palm, which is this incredible global hub that we have. You have Tarpon Isle here. You have Everglades Island, which is an incredible private island, kind of starting around $30 million to get onto Everglades Island because it's all water.
Yeah.
And you have, incredible dock, and walking to town. There's a sidewalk. We're right in the estate section, right by Via Selva.
Yep.
You can walk right into town. So once you understand Palm Beach, you understand how special a property like this is. And it's going to be a very special home for a lucky new buyer here.
Time is money, so if you want to get into the best property in the market right away, move in ready, this is it.
And it's a piece of Palm Beach history, and you have the main house, boathouse, and tennis pavilion. So it has good separation, like with 3 different kind of homes. So it'd be good for a multi-generational family or someone who has lots of children or family or guests staying with them. But it's truly a piece of history, something you couldn't replicate again today for any amount of money. So I think that's special.
What advice do you have for those that are earlier in their career, how to get to the top, the journey? For agents out there that are watching this, how do they get to the next step in their career?
I think resilience is key. Like we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it, right? And staying in a positive headspace.
Yeah.
So if you stay positive.
We talked about that.
Yeah, if you stay positive and if you stay grateful, like I'm so grateful every day that I get to do this for a living, and then I have 2 beautiful children, an amazing husband. I get to live here, and this is my job. Like, put it into perspective. Like, I'm never gonna be not grateful, and you can't get into this business and be biased or just assume that this is gonna happen. Like, I am grateful every day. So I think if you flip the script in your own mind, and no matter who was rude to you, who was mean to you, don't dwell on it. Move on. I have a 2-second rebound rate on things. So if someone's rude or someone's not nice, it says more about them than me.
Yeah.
And just be nice and move forward. And I think that's what successful people do. And don't get thrown off if you lose, or if you don't get something. Do you know how many things I don't get? And then you learn and you move on to the next thing and do better next time. I think people get caught in their own mind sometimes, and your mind is a muscle, so you have to control your thoughts.
So much of success in sports and business is mental.
Mental.
It's a mental game.
Yeah.
And it's a long game. You've had a 16-year career. You're at the top of the game. What do you hope to achieve this year? Family goals, business goals, 2026.
2026. I'd like to have 1 billion sold.
Yeah.
I know that's a big, lofty goal, but 1 billion sold and pending is my goal.
That's doable.
I would like to be the number 1 in Palm Beach. I think we're number 2 right now. I'd like to be number 1, and and I want, I think family is really important too. So I think spending more quality time with my kids.
Yeah.
And these ages are fleeting too. So spending more time with them, you realize how fast time goes, and you can't get it back. So spending more time with them, and just helping Palm Beach. I feel grateful that we get to bring incredible people into the Palm Beach community. And for us, it goes way beyond the home sale. Like, we spend holidays. We're with you on Christmas and New Year's and, Thanksgiving, and we really help ingratiate people into the community. So I guess the last thing is bringing more incredible people to Palm Beach and getting them set up with a whole new life here.
You're really invested in the community and everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online? What's the best way to connect with you?
We're on Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at Margit Brandt Palm Beach. We have a new website too that has all of our contact information, email. We have an incredible office here in Palm Beach, but probably online would be on Instagram or on our website.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
This was so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.